For the first course, we travel to Atlanta and the impressive cooking of Gunther Seegar. He features red mullet fillets wrapped in potato and served with a red onion marrow confit. The entree is offered by Jean Joho, chef-owner of Everest in Chicago. Gilding the lily, he will dress up the classic French pot-au-feu with beef tenderloin. Finally, from the Miami area, Chef Todd Weisz prepares dessert at the Turnberry Isle Resort. It's a warm chocolate espresso cake with a hurricane of fruit sauces. With Ritz-Carlton properties, the dining room is the hotel's crown jewel, and in Atlanta, Gunther Seegar was the architect of the award-winning restaurant. He has since opened a namesake in Buckhead, which Esquire's John Mariani called the best new restaurant of 1998. Here is red mullet and onion confit.
This is a very interesting dish. We're combining a rouget filet with a red wine sauce. And with that dish also, it's very nice to have a red wine. To start, you use chopped red onions. And they're getting reduced with red wine. Using a Burgundy here, a port wine, and this has to reduce all the way down. To fillet the fish, it has to be scaled first, really good, and then you wash it. And then we do the other side.
Although this dish is presented here as a first course, 2 fillets will be plated. This is slightly more substantial than a typical appetizer, which would probably include just 1.
Then we cut those inside bones off. Then I have a little needle nose here to take all the rest of the bones out. And you feel with your left finger, you can feel where the bones are. Seasoned with salt and pepper.
After seasoning, a fresh sage leaf is put on each fillet. Then, using a mandolin, very thin slices of potato are cut.
That goes on top of the potato. Then we turn it around. Put 2 potatoes on the other side.
The covered fillets are seasoned with salt and pepper, and the chef checks the reduced sauce.
The sauce has reduced. It has to come a little bit more down, and we're adding a little beet juice to it. Now this has to reduce a little bit more. Here's the marrow bone. We cut the marrow bone in cubes. And it's helpful when you put your knife in a little bit hot water. Then it's much easier to cut. the sauce is finished with just a little bit butter, so it makes it nice and shiny. Gonna add the marrow. Now you just want to have it staying hot. You don't want to have it boil anymore because all the marrow would melt. All right, you put this on the side. We saute the rouget fillets. They have to be sauteed very hot because it's a very small fish and you want the potato to be crispy, but you don't want the fish to be overcooked.
The potato wrap fillets are turned once.
And we put the fillets on top. A little chive flour here, garnish. That's it.
Jean Joho is chef owner of both the fancy Everest and Brasserie Joe in downtown Chicago. He is a James Beard Award winner as Best Chef Midwest, and Brasserie Joe was awarded Best New Restaurant in 1996. You will notice with the entree, Chef Joho taps his French roots. Here is beef tenderloin, Pot-au-Feu style.
Tenderloin of Pot-au-Feu. What you want to use here is the most vegetable what you find on the market with seasonal. Especially because you have lots of root vegetable. Like here I have some rutabaga, I have some celery roots, I have some fennels, I have some wonderful leeks, I have some carrots, some baby bok choy. Just different Brussels sprouts for the season right now. Just use anything what you can, but the fresh is just the fresh what you can. When you have around 6 kinds, you use 6. When you have 10, you use 10. Just use what is available.
Vegetable prep includes peeling the asparagus, the carrots,
the wonderful little baby bok choy. I'm using what I use. I point a hole, this way they cook much more regularly. Next leek. Try to buy always some young, nice leek, fresh. Cut some small stick the same size. Some fennel here. Do the same. I always like to cook it whole, and then I will cut it in half when the piece is too big. We have some Brussels sprout, the same. Always insert. This way they cook much more evenly, where the inside are always more harder as the outside. So, we have rutabaga left, celery root, and potato.
The rutabaga is peeled, sliced, then cut into sticks. Then the celery root is peeled.
Same way. Very important when you make celery. I always like to pen with lemon. This way is the oxidation is not happening and stays nice and white. So you can keep it easy for around half an hour at a time as you do everything. Same way here.
This careful, almost reverent preparation of vegetables is archetypal of the French. Now the potatoes.
What I will do here, what we're doing is just make a tuna potato. Tuna, what means in French rounded. What we have here, we will blanch this first in warm, cooking, hot, salted water. Add the salt. The more easy, I use the little chest inside here. What takes the longest, I always make first. This means right now, potato, wait a little bit. My rutabaga, my celery, then the leek, carrots, fennel. I like just to blanch my asparagus, my baby bok choy. I'm adding here the rest of the Brussels sprouts. And I'm blanching everything very well for a couple of minutes. At the same time, here I have a beef stock, reducing a little bit, very flavorful beef stock. And what I will adding here, it's some marrow bones were kept overnight in ice water. This one wonders as the whole blood and everything comes out. And I take this marrow bones here, and I will simmer this around for 25 minutes. It's cooked. Remove the nice water. Simmer my vegetable. Put everything nicely done. That's everything my blanched vegetable. Carrots, Brussels sprouts, fennel. What I do with the potato, I will cook my potato with the marrow here. We're simmering. This way you have a nice flavoring for the marrow which is going in the potato. The leek.
A condiment used for the dish is horseradish cream.
Some fresh horseradish. Just grated.
Whipped cream is in the bowl.
Buy the fresh horseradish. It's much better. As the commercial one, the finished one, what you have. Season, salt, pepper, and some chive. You mix very well together.
The vegetables are cooked in the beef broth, and the beef tenderloin is seasoned.
Salt and pepper. Set aside. And you cook this with your vegetables. Approximately around for 5-6 minutes. It depends what you want, medium, rare, or well done. A good trick, as you know, as everything cooks, I'll give you a little trick. When you take your hand, you're pushing here, this is rare. When you touch your finger here, is medium. When you touch it here, it's well done. Take it out of the skin from your hand, that's the best way to find out. Rare, medium, well done. Use this as a tip, always works.
The vegetables and beef are arranged on a platter and go back onto the stove.
What you want to do, to add a bit stock. Make it so hot. Tenderloin. A horseradish cream. And also we made a whole selection of condiments. What we're having with that. Something I always have fun with. I always like to serve tomato bones, where this is how you eat your tomatoes. You can go inside. You have tomato spoons on the side. On here is the pot-au-feu.
Todd Weisz, executive chef at the plush Turnberry Isle Resort, previously worked at the Pierre Hotel in New York, Aspen, and the famed Ernie's in San Francisco. At Turnberry, he was responsible for 5 restaurants and 6 kitchens. Happily, he found time for a warm chocolate espresso cake.
Okay, this next recipe is chocolate espresso cake. The great thing about this cake, it's low in calories, low in fat, and high in fiber. It has all the ingredients of a regular chocolate cake, but we've sort of taken some of the bad stuff out. We're starting with semi-sweet chocolate, low-fat milk. Over a double boiler, we're just gonna melt the chocolate. It's a very easy recipe. You don't need any mixers or anything. I'm gonna add my butter, sugar, and just get everything nice and smooth. And I'm gonna add my eggs. The good thing about this recipe is you can make up this batter and hold it in the refrigerator for about a week and just bake a little bit every day. Okay? Now I'm going to add some espresso coffee, some whole wheat flour, and I'm just going to kind of alternate the dry and the wet ingredients so that it all comes smooth. The rest of the coffee, a little sherry wine, baking soda, and the rest of my flour. Now we're going to make a mango ginger sauce. The other sauces we're not going to cook. The mango sauce we're going to cook because okay, add the mango, add the orange juice, and a little bit of ginger. And we're just going to simmer that slowly for about 10 minutes until the mango starts to break down and basically makes its own sauce. And then we're going to puree it and strain it. You need to strain it in case there's any fibers in the mango. Okay? Okay, to bake the cake, just going to take a little brioche mold, or you can use a muffin tin. Just spray a little ham or olive oil in there. A little bit of the batter inside. Leave about a ½ an inch or ¼ inch to the top so when it comes up, when it raises, it doesn't go over the top. And then we're going to put that into a 350-degree oven for about 8 minutes. We've got our cake out of the oven. We're going to let it set and cool. I like to keep it a little bit underdone so the middle is still a little undercooked. Okay, we're going to take our pureed mango sauce and just put a little bit in the middle. We're going to go around the outside with some raspberry sauce. And then a little circle with the blackberry sauce. And this is called the Hurricane Tropical Fruits, since we live here in South Florida. Just going to bang them on a plate. And what's a hurricane do? Turns. And then we're just going to twist that. Take our chocolate cake out. Just going to trim this a little bit. Set that on the plate. Garnish it.
Garnish includes fresh berries and pineapple.
A few pieces of mint.